Good morning, Martree. It's Matt Wright, Superintendent of Martree School District, bringing you the last weekly update before school starts. The time has arrived. It is finally here, and I am so excited about kids coming back in the building. We are busy beyond belief. There's so many things that we're trying to do. We're still finishing up painting. We're still finishing putting some furniture together. Actually, our last load of furniture is going to be delivered today. We ordered it in May, and it's just now getting here. So we've still got some work left to do, but don't fret. We're going to make it, and everything's going to look great for your students' arrival at campus or on their campus on Monday. So I've got several important reminders that I want to share today, but I want to start off by talking about a few things in depth. So make sure that you hang out until the end to hear those important reminders. The first thing that I want to talk about is football. Last week we received guidance from the state on what the venues are expected to look like at football games. Our kids have been practicing for a couple of weeks, maybe even 3. But we've still been waiting on a directive from the state telling us how we are supposed to manage the facilities during a game, and that came out late Friday afternoon. I'm going to share with you exactly what this guidance said, and then I'll go back and I'll explain how that impacts us. So it says that venue capacity should be determined by having all spectators maintain 6 feet physical distance from other spectators at all times, but single household family groups can sit together. But in between groups, or if there's another individual, then there has to be that 6 feet. Bleacher seating should be restricted to every other row. Standing room only with additional chair seating should be marked to provide 6 feet physical distance between spectators or groups. Though the large outdoor and indoor venue directives allow up to 66% capacity, the above requirements for physical distancing may put actual capacity between 25 and 50%. They also go on to say that face coverings are required for anybody in the facility. They are required and they must be worn at all times. There's going to be some around the concession stands, around bathrooms. There's going to be signs in terms of social distancing. We'll have different things on the ground to show you where you need to stand. So please make sure that those are followed. Now we have a scrimmage game coming up in 6 days. It's going to allow us the opportunity to see how our plan will look once the season starts. For our scrimmage game, we are going to be providing tickets for just family members. The only students that will be allowed in the game are siblings of family members, and they also must have one of those tickets. It is initially important for us to try to figure out just how many we're going to be able to allow. Unfortunately, it looks like we're going to be looking at 100 to 150 people max. But our scrimmage game is going to be a trial run, and we are going to limit that to just family members. So the football players will be given tickets before too long, and then they'll be able to bring those homes, and families will be able to do what they need to in order to distribute those to the family. We'll make sure you have those in plenty of time. We're working and preparing our concession stand for the season, so there's a chance there may not be concessions available at the scrimmage games. There are directives that are constantly coming out from ADH, and we are to follow all the regulations that restaurants have to follow. And so if there is a concession stand, the menu will be very limited. We are working on trying to live stream our games during the regular season. Once we get to the season, it appears that only people that we will be able to fit into the facility will be football, band, and cheer parents and family members. And so we don't know how many people we're going to be able to let in, but right now it's looking like it will just be the parents and family members of football, band, and cheer. In the past, if you came to our games, many people like to stand on the fence. This year, that will not be allowed. Due to the proximity to our students, we want to make sure that there is that physical distancing and that they are, beyond a shadow of a doubt, we want to make sure that our kids are safe. And so everyone will have to be seated in the bleachers. But there will be more on that as we get closer to our first home game. But for the scrimmage game, we will issue tickets to the students, and they'll bring those home, and those are just to be used on family members. Just a reminder, no students unless it is a sibling of a player. We have also been directed that band, cheer, and dance are not to travel to away games. Once again, that's not a decision that Martin Tree School District made. That's a decision that came from the Department of Health. Another thing that we want to talk about very quickly is our pickup and our drop-off at the elementary school. You know, pick up in the mornings, that's between 7:15 and 7:40, and the earlier you get there, the better. The line is not as long when you get there. Plus, that gives your child more time to eat breakfast. Now, this year, you're going to have to remain. You're going to have to remain in your car. You cannot get out and walk kids in. And those of you who have kids at kindergarten, my heart goes out to you. I've got a child that's in kindergarten also. We've been having that conversation for several days, but we've especially been having that conversation with our younger daughter. You know that it's going to be hard, and I already dread it. But we have been having that conversation, and I've let her know when we go through the line, we got to go. You can't sit there and say goodbye 15 times. There's going to be people waiting, and she understands that. But I know that Monday morning is going to be emotional for a lot of us, me included. But just know you cannot get out and walk kids in. You're going to have to drop them off in the loop, and they need to be prepared to get out of the vehicle. You know, I know that's bad news, but the good news is, I guess if there is good news, I've got a first grader, and I don't think she even wants me to drop her off. So I'm going to enjoy feeling needed from my younger one, because my older one's already like, she's over it, Dad, go. So now, pick up in the afternoon, it has to be different. First, last year we issued car tags. We need you to continue using those. If you have them, if you don't worry, we have plenty. And we need you to display the car tag. If you don't have one, we'll get you one the first day of school. Now, as you pull through the line, as soon as we see you enter the loop, we're going to communicate to people inside the building, who will then start working on bringing your student out. We're not going to be allowed to let everybody come out all at once. That's not going to be very safe, and we have to maintain social distancing. So we're going to keep them inside until they are called for. Now, this means that it's going to take a little bit longer until we can get everything down, until we can refine that process. Just anticipate the pickup line being a little bit longer than normal. But we've got to. It's a moral obligation to make sure that we do everything we can to take care of the kids, and so we just want to make sure that we keep them safe. So be patient with us and understand that we'll get better. As time goes, we'll become better at the process, but it is in the name of safety for our kids. You must pick your child up in a car. You cannot walk up to the door and pick your child up. And please don't congregate by the doors waiting for school to dismiss. We cannot allow that. So those are the big announcements. You know, people keep asking me, how do you feel about school starting? And I want you to know, I'd be lying to you if I said I wasn't nervous. I am nervous. We've never done this before. We've never opened up school in a pandemic. So when I tell you I'm nervous, I want for you to understand. I think that all the teachers, I don't think there's a person inside of our buildings that are not nervous, and I think that's a good thing. Let me tell you why. If we are nervous, then we have a heightened sense of awareness, and we're paying very close attention to what's going on. And I think I think that's going to help protect everybody and make our school district safer. So I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. Now, when I tell you that I'm nervous, I also want to say I'm hopeful. I am hopeful. There are a lot of schools who have already started throughout the state. And I know you've heard the horror stories, the things that you haven't heard of, the success stories. And there are schools within our state that have been going for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and they haven't had a blip on the radar. Everything has gone according to plan. So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that we can be one of those places. We have to have school. We have to have school. We have to do everything we can to try to have school. That doesn't mean that if you're doing it virtually that I disagree with you, because I don't. I wholeheartedly support you. At this point, I think that everybody needs to do what's best for them. But my main point is kids need school under whatever format you think is best for them. Our kids need school. And we have to make a valiant effort to push forward, and we will. And we're going to do everything that we can to remain safe. And I want for you to understand, y'all, we have hand sanitizers in each classroom. And each one of those dispensers have enough refills for 5,000 uses. Believe me, I've done the math. 5,000 uses for each dispenser in every classroom. We've got an additional 100 gallons of hand sanitizer in 1-gallon jugs in case something happens to those units that are hanging on the wall, so that we can go pull out. These gallons and work on replacing dispensers. We have cases upon cases of wipes. We've got over 100 gallons of a disinfectant that's EPA approved to kill COVID in less than a minute. We've got gloves, we've got masks, we've worked on procedures, we've got foggers for every bus and for all the buildings. There's so many things that we have put in place to help protect our students and our staff. But this is a team effort. And I don't just mean the teachers and the faculty and the students. I mean all of us. I mean our entire community. I encourage you, I almost beg you to be mindful about what you do with your kids once school starts, to make sure that you're doing everything that you can to help keep them safe, to reduce their exposure to other people. I shared with the staff yesterday that since March, the most people that I've been around at once, besides teachers, we had a kindergarten graduation party, and we had a 5-year-old's birthday party on the same day, and we had 6 people at our house. My wife and I have not done anything outside of our house together since all of this started, and that is because we're trying to do everything that we can to protect the people that we work with, and the people that we love in our families. Now you may say that's a little extreme, and it may be. It may be. And who's to say that in 3 or 4 days I don't have COVID? But I think that I have an obligation to your children to do everything I can to reduce my exposure to people who may have COVID. I think that I owe it to our teachers. I think I owe it to you and your family. And I hope that you feel the same way about the people that your children go to school with. I hope you feel the same way about their teachers, and I hope you feel the same way about their families. Please just be mindful of what you are allowing your kids to do, and understand the consequences that it could possibly have on other families. Just a few important tips. Please make sure that your kids, when they show up to school on Monday, that they're prepared to be in a mask. If they show up and they don't have a mask, we will provide them one. But I know that most of them probably already have masks. So we're going to issue some masks to students on Monday. They will have, we'll give every student 3 masks. But just let them know that they are going to have to wear masks. And just to be honest with you, I'm encouraging my kid to wear their mask as much as they can. And if the teacher tells them to take it off, they can take it off and catch their breath. But I am a firm believer in masks. Also, talk to your child about putting on or taking off masks. The main thing that I mean by this is that before they put their mask on, their hands need to be clean. Before they take their masks off, their hands need to be clean. And that's why we have so much Germ-X or hand sanitizer in our building. Make sure that you talk to your child about washing hands. Over the past couple of weeks, I guess, I've known about washing hands in the amount of time, 20 seconds, that you're supposed to do that. What I didn't know, what I have recently learned, is that if you're using hand sanitizer, you should still scrub your hands for at least 30 seconds. And so that was certainly new to me. Talk to your child about social distancing. My Lynn Lee, the kindergartner. She is a social butterfly, and I know on Monday when she walks into that classroom and she sees some of her friends, it's probably going to be a hug fest. Um, and makes me happy, but at the same time, it kind of scares me. I'm ready for both of my daughters to be able to see their friends. It's been far too long, but at the same time, I want them to be safe. So we've been having a lot of conversations about social distancing, and I encourage you to do the same. Please remember that our COVID hotline number is 870-375-2266. If you test positive or your child tests positive, please call that hotline right away so that we can start making plans that we need to make to keep everybody safe. We will provide you with all the guidance that you need if the doctor hasn't provided it for you. Also, if you go and you take a test, we are requiring that in between test and results that students go ahead and quarantine. And so please make sure that you also notify us of taking that test so that we can once again put the things in place that we need to, and then notify us once your test results come in. Um, there's so much information that we are responsible for collecting, and I beg you, keep us in the loop if something's going on. Let us know. That's what that hotline is for. If there is a positive case, or if your child has been exposed and you've gone to test, those are some things that we need to know. And that line is going to be monitored 7 days a week. If you cannot reach school personnel on that phone, please feel free to contact the police department. They know who they're supposed to contact. They're going to work with us to make sure that we're getting that information. If you call it at 8 o'clock at night, there will be somebody to take your phone call. We know that the Department of Health is notifying people of positive tests as late as 9 o'clock. And so if you get that phone call, please let us know. Now, if for some reason somebody doesn't answer, leave a message. It's going to be checked frequently, but there may be times after 10 o'clock, after 9 o'clock, that whoever is monitoring that, they may be asleep, and that's when the police department can come in handy. However, when we wake up that next morning, we will see that there's been a phone call, and we will call back immediately. I've had that phone by my side for a month. And every morning when I go to bed, or excuse me, every morning when I wake up, that is the first thing I do is I check that number to make sure there haven't been any missed calls. It is I've been rattling for about 18, 19 minutes. But I want you to know I can't wait for Monday. Yes, I'm apprehensive, but I hope that you agree when I say Monday is important. Monday is important. Monday has been coming for a long time, and we're ready. We're nervous, but we are ready. We're going to do everything we can to keep your child safe and to work with you to make this the best year that it possibly can be. I told the staff yesterday, I firmly believe that this is the most important year in public education, and I feel that way. And in order for us to be able to navigate it, we're all going to have to be willing to work together and be patient with each other. And my promise to you is that we will certainly uphold our end of the bargain. Please don't, and I also said this to the faculty yesterday, do not let yourself off the hook on how important this year is. And as parents, I encourage you to do the same thing. Really stress to your child the importance of continuing their education this year. We cannot stop our opportunity for learning. They're 13 years in public education. That clock hasn't stopped. So we have to continue moving forward. We have to continue educating our students, and that's exactly what we're going to do at Marked Tree School District. Y'all, if you need me, you know where I'm at. I'm always accessible. I love this town. I love this community. I love this school. And while I might not like the challenges that we face, I want you to know that we are certainly going to be the first to say that we will stand up and do what we need to do to work to keep your child safe. If you've got any questions, let us know. We will have another Facebook Live video this week. It's going to be about navigating the website. There's going to be some things that you can learn, some things that you can subscribe to that will help keep you in the loop. But for right now, that's all I've got. Y'all have a good day.